Top 10 Haunted Places in South Africa that will give you chills, LNF. South Africa has two reputations. One is the wildlife, the coastlines, the wine estates. The other one doesn't make travel brochures. Abandoned hospitals, cursed fortresses, lonely roads where people vanish from locked cars. This country has centuries of layered history, and a lot of it ended badly. 10 places carry that weight. Some have been investigated, some have been documented. All of them have made people leave early and never go back. 1. Castle of Good Hope, Cape Town. This is the oldest colonial building in South Africa, and almost certainly its most haunted. It spent centuries functioning as a military base, prison, and administrative center. The dungeon, called the Dark Hole, held prisoners in total darkness. Many drowned there when floodwater poured in during storms before they even reached official punishment. That history soaked into the walls, and it never left. Staff and visitors report footsteps in empty corridors, doors slamming without cause, and a woman sobbing through the halls before the sound cuts off completely. Security guards openly refuse to patrol specific sections at night. Outside the walls, a phantom black dog regularly lunges at visitors before vanishing. Lady Anne Barnard, the castle's 18th century First Lady, still appears uninvited at social events held on the grounds. The Lady in Grey, discovered after a female skeleton was unearthed near the Sally Gates, was witnessed by Princess Margaret's entourage during a royal visit in 1947. In 1729, a dying soldier cursed the governor from the gallows. That same afternoon, the governor was found dead at his desk, face frozen in terror. His ghost has reportedly walked the castle ever since. 2. The Uniondale Hitchhiker, Western Cape. On April 12, 1968, Maria Rue was killed when her fiancé lost control of their car on the road outside Uniondale. He survived, recovered, and within a year had married someone else. Shortly after that, the sightings began. Drivers reported picking up a dark-haired woman in white on that same stretch of road. She would sit calmly, sometimes talk, sometimes say nothing. Then she would disappear mid-journey, just an empty seat and a sudden drop in temperature. Some drivers reported a faint smell of lavender where she had been sitting. The sightings became so frequent that the local police kept sugar water at the station specifically to calm down drivers who came in shaking. At its peak, multiple reports were coming in per month. Then in 1984, the sightings stopped entirely. That same year, Maria's former fiancé also died in a car accident on the same road. The timing is hard to dismiss. Hundreds of independent witnesses, many with no knowledge of the legend beforehand, described the same experience in matching detail. 3. Tokai Manor House, Cape Town, New Year's Eve, 1885. The young heir of Tokai Manor decided the best way to celebrate was to ride his horse through the grand interior hallways. The horse lost footing on the polished floors. The rider was thrown and died from the fall. That one night has apparently never ended for whatever remains in that building. Late at night, the sound of hooves thundering through empty corridors has been reported consistently across different eras by people with no connection to each other. Security guards describe making brief eye contact with shadowy figures before they disappear around corners. Several refuse to do solo night patrols on the property at all. Visitors report a cold sensation of being followed from room to room, a physical brushing feeling against their skin, and a presence that only seems to lift once they step outside. Even in full daylight, with other people around, the manor carries an awareness that is difficult to describe, but almost universally felt by those who spend time inside. 4. Lord Milner Hotel, Matjiesfontein. This double-story hotel was built in 1899, right at the start of the South African War. It was converted into a military hospital during the conflict, and the turret was used as a lookout post. That wartime history is thought to be directly responsible for what guests experience today. Kate was a 19-year-old nurse stationed here who died young under circumstances that were never fully explained. She is still seen looking out from the turret. Her dedicated space on the second floor, known as Kate's Card Room, is where guests hear the quiet sound of cards being shuffled. Lucy, a young woman in a nightgown, is heard crying in the first-floor corridor over what is described as a lover's dispute. She is believed to have died in the room she now favors. Guests have reported being locked inside rooms from the outside, with no one present in the hallway when they opened the door. 5. Nottingham Road Hotel, KwaZulu-Natal. This hotel was built in the 1800s, and Charlotte, a barmaid who worked here, fell into a relationship with a British soldier stationed nearby. When he left, she either took her own life or died under circumstances that were never officially resolved. The story splits depending on the source, but both versions end the same way. She never left. Room 10 is where most of the activity centers. Guests have woken to find clothes they left in piles neatly folded and arranged. Her perfume, described as soft and floral, appears in rooms and corridors without explanation. A quiet, mournful sigh has been reported in the early morning hours. Charlotte's presence is not aggressive or violent. It is described more as a sadness that fills the building. Several guests over the years have checked out before sunrise. Staff in the older sections of the building work in pairs for the same reason. 6. Kimberley's Big Hole, Northern Cape. During the diamond rush of the late 1800s, Kimberley became one of the most intense and dangerous labor sites in the world. Thousands of men worked these tunnels, and many of them died in them. The Big Hole is one of the largest hand-dug excavations in human history, and the ground surrounding it carries a weight that visitors consistently notice. On ghost tours, guides describe figures in old mining gear standing at the edge of the hole, staring downward without moving. Some visitors describe a physical heaviness in the atmosphere around the hole itself, as though the space is saturated with accumulated grief. The Africana Research Library nearby adds another layer. Librarian Bertrand Dyer arrived from England in 1900, embezzled funds, was caught, and poisoned himself. 7. Jan van Riebeck Primary School, Cape Town. A school appearing on a list like this feels different. The former headmistress of this Cape Town school was stabbed to death inside her own office. The crime shocked the community at the time, and the building has apparently carried that event ever since. Teachers and students have reported seeing her standing at the far end of hallways, completely still, watching. Classroom doors slam shut without cause. Lights in the older sections of the school flicker during early morning hours when the building is mostly empty. Her apparition has appeared in classrooms before the school day begins, expression unchanged from when she was alive, stern and observant. The atmosphere in the building shifts after the students leave. People who have stayed late on the grounds describe an oppressive pressure that builds the quieter the school becomes. 8. Grey Hospital, King Williamstown. Grey Hospital has been abandoned for years, and the decay has made it look exactly as haunted as it reportedly is. Long corridors, peeling walls, broken equipment left exactly where it was. But the physical deterioration is secondary to what people experience inside. The operating theater draws the most consistent reports. Visitors describe it as the heaviest room in the building, as though the deaths that happened on that table left something behind that cannot be cleared out. Cold air moves through rooms with sealed windows and no obvious source. Translucent figures have been reported lying in the old hospital beds, faces showing distress. Urban explorers who have documented the building describe a mounting physical pressure as they move deeper inside, as if something is registering their presence and becoming less comfortable with it. Several have turned back from areas they couldn't bring themselves to enter, not from structural danger, but from an instinct that something in those sections did not want company. 9. Old Presidency, Bloemfontein. This building served as the official residence for South African state presidents and carries the kind of formal weight that comes with that history. But the activity that has been reported here suggests that some of its former occupants never formally checked out. Late at night, footsteps pace the empty halls at a rhythm that sounds purposeful, like someone moving between rooms with somewhere to be. Apparitions in period-correct clothing have been seen walking the grounds, as though continuing routines from their life lifetimes. The basement is the most avoided section of the building. Staff and investigators describe sudden cold concentrations down there, voices without bodies, and a pervasive sadness that seems to press out from the walls. The rest of the building carries a similar emotional quality, a melancholy that has no single obvious source, but that most people who spend extended time there end up noticing. The grand architecture gives it a dignity that makes the paranormal reports somehow more unsettling rather than less. 10. Groot Constantia, Wine Estate, Cape Town. Groot Constantia is one of the oldest and most respected wine estates in South Africa, established in 1685. The Cape Dutch Manor at its center is beautifully maintained and draws visitors year-round. It also harbors the ghost of Simon van der Stel, the original owner who built everything here from the ground up. His apparition appears on stormy nights, standing at the edge of the vineyard, looking out over the fields as though still checking on the harvest. Staff report footsteps in the empty manor halls and doors that close on their own, without wind or movement. In the wine cellar, where the smell of aging barrels fills the air, voices have been heard in low conversation. The working theory is that long-dead cellar workers are still going about their business. The estate's beauty makes it easy to dismiss these accounts during the day. After dark, when the ground's empty and the Cape storms roll in, the atmosphere changes significantly, and the reports of Van der Stel watching over his land start to feel a great deal more plausible. South Africa's paranormal history runs as deep as its recorded one. These 10 places are not folklore created for tourists. They are locations with documented reports, independent witnesses, and histories that explain exactly why the dead might not have moved on. If you've been to any of these places or have a story of your own, the comments are open, and if this kept you watching to the end, you know what to do.